I'm Gabriel Cortez.
I'm McKenna Burns.
And we are creating an easy-to-open refrigerated snack package utilizing graphics to educate the origins of food using the least amount of materials as possible.
How do we get here? We began by doing research on various forms of plastic waste, which led us to food packaging, which is one of the biggest sources of plastic waste. Most of this comes from convenience foods such as grab-and-go snacks. From there, we decided to focus in on kids' snack packs because we know childhood is an impressionable age and kids are able to change habits easier than adults. We also saw an opportunity to passively educate.
Our first market problem, when we were researching, we found that when children with low dexterity try to open snacks such as Lunchables, the food will sometimes explode everywhere because of the lid. Which obviously isn't good. The second problem is the wasted space. There are big spaces of the container that aren't being used to make the containers look like they hold more food. They're wasting space and also losing money due to shipping costs. The third problem, there's no even surface. Children have no place to stack the food, so they balance the food on the side of the container, which makes the food likely to fall. Problem 4, the outside container has no further use after you open it. It is immediately thrown away and probably not recycled. Number 5, the graphic messaging. So food comes from nature, and the current market has no mention of it at all. Children form habits at an early age, and they need to associate food with nature to create an awareness that food is a limited resource. It doesn't come from a factory. So that leads us to our design criteria.
We wanted our package to be easy to open for those with lower dexterity, such as children from around age 5 and up. We wanted the exterior to have another use besides protecting the food, and of course be able to hold the same amount of food as competitors. Throughout the production and manufacturing of this, we wanted to use more biodegradable materials, minimize the use of plastic, streamline manufacturing processes, and increase our shipping efficiency. Since we wanted to use more sustainable materials, we turned towards origami. We found that origami provided various ways of opening and created different and exciting forms. We wanted to create that wow factor from traditional packaging. So our first iterations, we were working with fully biodegradable materials. By combining a few ideas, we created this accordion-like opening where as you open the package, the seal breaks. We also experimented different ways of wrapping food and various ways of opening. We also created barriers within the package to keep the food more secure. While testing these, our subject easily opened the package. He liked how it opened and picked the food out of the compartments, but there was not much more interaction besides that. He did enjoy playing with the Pac-Man-like iteration. He used his imagination to turn into various things like a phone or an animal.
So for our materials feedback, we talked to a materials expert, Ron Kander, who suggested that we didn't use any materials that are biodegradable that touch the food, because as soon as they come in contact with the food, the packaging will start to degrade. So we chose to go with a material that is approved by the FDA already that will not degrade, which is plastic. For our first plate iteration, we came up with a solution on our own. We left the webbing in, which we realized created a plate which solved the solution to one of our problems and also created a wow factor that wasn't in the previous iterations.
While testing the plate iteration, our test subject did not use the package as a plate at first, but after adding a plate and fork graphic, he did use it as a prep area for his cheese and crackers after, so we saw that using a graphic kind of incentivized him to use it in the way we wanted him to. So after landing on the plate form, we decided on a zipper tear to act as tamper-proof evidence, and we also added a flap. This way kids would be able to close it again if they had leftover food to take home.
So for our first graphic iterations, we explored characters, lots of bright colors, nature, food sources, and then games and educational aspects. For our initial graphic iterations, we explored games, passive education landscapes, animals, and then more abstract ones. For our testing results, when the kids opened the boxes, they ate most of the food in the box. Some used it as a plate, but some didn't. And then after they ate it, they imagined that the boxes were animals, and they played hungry hippos with the boxes. And when we asked them which box they liked the best, graphic-wise, they all liked each one that they were given. They also said that they liked the games that were on the boxes, but they actually didn't play them. Going off that, for our graphic development, we chose characters, which create a personality for our brand and also increases the child's intrigue. We saw a new market trend that showed food being used as characters, so we decided to go off that trend. We chose a nature theme to passively educate and incorporate the theme into the whole product. For our colors, we chose earthy tones, which are associated with good health, red, which is passion and excitement, yellow and orange, which increase hunger. And then for the interior, we went with a plate graphic to actually encourage the children to use our package as a plate. And then we use color halftones to cut down on the printing costs, because when you print on both sides, it drives the price way up. So here's our current graphics. The exterior on the left, as you can see, there's a nature theme throughout both sides. The exterior has illustrations showing the unique way it opens. The interior has a plate to encourage the children to use our packaging as a plate. We have a maze also just to increase the interactiveness and interest. We also have the color halftones shown.
So our package will be made of 100% recycled paperboard. The paperboard is die cut and scored and then packaged by hand. We realized after talking to professionals, creating a mold for this folding pattern would be far too expensive for a new product, but it would easily be able to be packaged by using a jig by hand. After packaging the box, it would then be sealed using a heat-activated adhesive. The interior of our box, we talked to Tim Brown, who is a packaging designer at Campbell. He told us that since our product is refrigerated and does not need to be shelf-stable, the plastic used would require far less protective barriers, which would increase the recyclability of the plastic that is used. This plastic would be LDPE, it would be heat-sealed and flow-wrapped. Using this method would reduce overall plastic and the amount of weight being shipped, which would decrease energy usage. So we ran an eco audit on our package versus a Lunchables. As you can see, we weighed out our materials. A Lunchable uses 14 grams of plastic per unit, while ours uses only 4 grams. And a Lunchable uses 33 grams of paperboard, while ours uses 27 grams. We then, through the eco audit, we saw that our package uses a little more than half of the energy to produce our package when compared to a Lunchable. The Lunchable will be displayed in packs of 4 in stores. We decided to utilize an in-store display since most buyers prefer this option since it is easier to stock. We also realized we have more control of how it's displayed, but it still allows for flexibility between varying store displays. So in order to analyze our shipping efficiency, we ran our case size and Lunchable case size through a packaging program to see how many cases would fit on a standard shipping pallet. The Lunchable can ship 200 cases while Lunchable fits only 108. This adds up to 736 more meals per pallet when compared to Lunchables, which is huge.
That's a good try.
Give me cheese.
I have a stingray.
What do you